Welcome to Scream Queens Horror Movie Road Trip Podcast! Oh, I like that one. That was a good one.
Yeah?
That was your final girl, Miss Justine over there.
Hey, and over here's your soul survivor, Mr. Josh.
That's me.
Hi guys, welcome to our horror road trip podcast.
A very special Disney World adventure.
Yes, we are so excited. We are headed to the most magical place on earth.
The happiest and most magical place on earth.
Again. We were there 2 years ago. We covered the movie Black Christmas.
You can go back and listen to that. I believe it's like episode 9 or 10, somewhere in that area. It's part of the early days of our show.
Somewhere in our early days.
Long ago.
Long ago.
Anyways, if that didn't drive you away, we are headed, as you said, to Walt Disney World.
Yeah, we're in Florida.
And we're going to ride one of our favorite rides over and over and over. And do you know which one that is, everybody?
It's the spookiest ride in all of Magic Kingdom. It's
best.
The Haunted Mansion.
It's the best ride ever.
Yes.
The Haunted Mansion at Walt Disney World.
The Haunted Mansion is the same as the titular line of our movie, The Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, we are going to be doing The Haunted Mansion.
2003.
2003's The Haunted Mansion.
200 Trace. That's right. So, The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. We are going to go there, and we're going to go there to the Haunted Mansion.
You brought that around. I like that.
I brought it around town. That's for sure. Room was starting. Okay, so we're super excited to get to go to Disney World, and the director of the Haunted Mansion, Rob Minkoff, has got some Disney connections because he also
directed The Lion King.
Oh my gosh. It's like trivia on trivia on trivia on
trivia. Robert Minkoff directed The Haunted Mansion.
Oh. Goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have Eddie Murphy, who...
Oh, come on.
I don't really do... I don't think
Eddie
we
Murphy's,
need to list his...
He's one of those actors, performers that really frustrates me, because when he's good, he's good.
Yep.
You know, we've Coming to America.
Yes.
Even The Nutty Professor.
It's funny.
But,
it's good.
You know, sometimes he can make movies
that
like...
are just not...
Yeah, I'm not going to name names.
No,
but sometimes he makes movies that just...
He himself is mixed bag.
Yeah.
Performances. And... we're going to get there with this one.
Yeah, he's tolerable in this one.
Okay, so Terrence Stamp from Superman.
Oh, come on. Professor Zod.
General Zod.
General Zod. He's not a professor. He's a fucking general.
You said Nutty Professor just like a second ago.
Yeah, I think that's probably why.
General Zod, yes. From Young Guns, from...
The Limey, directed by Steven Soderbergh.
Soderbergh.
It's a great crime drama
movie. It's a great crime
drama.
For your mama. Llama drama for your mama.
Llama, red pajama.
Okay, so Jennifer Tilly.
Oh,
Getting silly with Jennifer Tilly.
Love her.
Love her.
Bound.
And that's a movie she's in.
Yeah. Love Bound. Love,
that's a really
course,
good one.
Bride of Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love her and her Academy Award nominated performance in Bullets Over Broadway.
Bullets Over Broadway. Oh, not Bob's
Not Bob's Over Baghdad. Bullets Over Broadway.
Okay, that's a good one too. Oh my gosh,
Wally
guys.
Shawn.
Yes, it's from Princess Bride.
We have Bride, Clueless. I've had the honor of sitting next to him at a dinner party in Los Angeles, but that's all I'm going to say. He was really nice.
He's hilarious. I mean, yes, that all happened, yeah.
But, moving on.
What else can we say about the cast and crew? special effects, Rick Baker, makeup.
Come on, one of the best in the industry. American Werewolf in London.
And screenplay is from the guy who helped write Elf, David Berenbaum.
Oh, love that David Berenbaum.
Well, so you know that it might have some funniness to it.
There's some. This movie's.
I have some hilarity.
It's a roller coaster ride.
I
don't mean that
ride.
like, oh, it's a roller coaster ride. It's thrills and chills. No, it has its ups and downs, is what I mean.
Yeah.
There's some moments of. There's some good moments, and
Yep.
then there's some other moments like, oh come on, I want to see this fly. I want to see this launch.
You got some beats and you got some bumps.
Yeah,
all right.
Beats and bumps.
But so the Haunted Mansion ride and the Haunted Mansion movie take you on a ride. And the movie, maybe we get to.
The ride's better. I'll just say it.
Well, maybe we get to it now. Maybe we talk about it right now. Okay, but let's get on to the movie.
Let's do it. We open up with Foolish Mortals.
Yes.
Welcome, Foolish Mortals.
So it's kind of giving you that first exposure of the ride.
And that got me giddy, I'll tell you that. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, I'm in for a treat.
I'm about to get myself a treat.
I'm about to be treated.
He's going to get treated.
I feel like I'm at Disney World watching this movie. They said, welcome, Foolish Mortals. I feel like I'm on the ride.
Yes, and we have
It's downhill from here, folks.
We have an opening title sequence that also gives us this montage of an 1880s New Orleans masquerade ball. And
it's very fancy, very elaborate. You can tell it's a period drama at this point.
Yeah, you can tell. There's a lot of
details,
costumes.
Very opulent. It's a masquerade ball.
Masquerade!
Paper faces on parade, y'all.
Oh, damn. Phantom. That's right. Well, and the movie itself is based on kind of the ride. The 3 rides that you have at the Disneyland and Disney World and Disneyland in Paris.
Each of the different Haunted Mansion rides are different houses. They all have a different structure. The insides have some similarities. Some of the same storylines are going on. Some of the same
threads are coming in and out.
Some of the same visuals, but each one is a little bit different.
Yeah,
you can explain that more, Ms. Justine?
Well, the movie itself gets its story from Phantom Manor, which is in Disneyland Paris. But, and that's just to say that the basic story structure of the bride has an actual story. Whereas,
So you're saying the bride over in Paris goes,
oui. She does. Escargot. No, we're not going to go there. That's not what we're going to do.
You're so racist against French people.
I know. I was trying to come up with like what we were doing just now, but we weren't being racist. What were we doing? We were just being very general about French people.
We were shitting on their culture and the way they speak. Okay, we're ashamed of ourselves.
I'm an asshole, and I know it.
But you know I'm going to do it again.
Wait. Okay. So the movie is just kind of like a compilation of those 3 rides.
It's like a best of.
And so through it is going to be littered with things that you see in the rides.
And that's some of the best parts of the movie, and not just because of the nostalgia. Like, oh, look at that! I saw that in the ride, but those parts in the movie are kind of the funnest.
They add the spice to it. Yes. Yeah, yes. It's there.
A lot of this kind of movie falls a little flat, like a lot of movies from the early 2000s. Like a lot of like family movies from the, things were very kind of vanilla and bland.
Yeah.
Like at the turn of the millennium.
At the turn of the millennium, we were just a vanilla society. Now we're in our rocky road phase.
I don't know what phase
I don't know what we're in right now.
Anyways, moving on.
Okay, so Okay, so we're opening up the movie in this title sequence where we're getting all of our credits, and it's the montage of the little masquerade ball. Gosh, we had to get back to there.
Oh, yeah, back to the masquerade ball.
We digressed. And this is they're calling it Gracie Manor.
Gracie
We
Manor.
have two main figures in this montage that we get at the opening of the credits, guys. There's a lot that's happening.
Yeah, you're seeing a woman and a man primarily, though.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some kind of drama. There's letters being written back and forth. He's writing a letter that says, like, I love you, meet me at midnight.
Yes.
She writes one back, like, I love you too, but, like, letters are getting intercepted by somebody.
Yeah, there's a third person who we don't see.
They're masked because of the masked ball.
Mm-hmm. And so we don't know who it is,
And
but
because it works for the plot, because we're not supposed to know who that person is.
Yeah.
So, they're masked.
We have to have a reveal at the end. But, and he, it's obviously he who is masked, but this person is helping, but
Don't
not
you assume
helping.
their gender, Justine?
Okay, alright. So it's somebody, and they're helping give the letters, but they're also helping to poison the atmosphere and to poison a drink that one of the characters consumes, the girl.
This person's just poisoning atmospheres and drinks. What a bastard.
He's a dick and a murderer. But, yeah, so her drink gets poisoned, and the letter that is supposed to be sent to the master of the house, Master Gracie, doesn't make it. And so therefore Master Gracie, thinking that the love of his life decided to kill herself rather than be with him, well, he hangs himself.
Which is an image you see at Disney World when you're in the little elevator going down. There's like a flash of lightning and you look up and there's someone hanging. And that's kind of the visual you get here in this moment during the opening credit sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting.
Everything happening in this opening credit sequence. Now we're gonna finish up with this opening credit sequence and open to a little boy who's riding his bicycle down an abandoned road.
Yeah, it's like
that
a really
leads to
dusty road. I'm like, why is there like some suburban kid delivering newspapers way out in the boondocks?
to this obviously
first place.
abandoned manor that's out in the middle of swampy,
like they're still paying for their paper.
New Orleans, swamp ass New Orleans.
Also kind of feel that maybe he's just prying, it's maybe that place in town that creeps the kids out.
Maybe he wasn't actually delivering,
maybe
it wasn't on his route, but he was like on
being daring.
Yeah, just like, I want to go up and see it. Yeah. Well, he gets scared.
I'm going to pedal 40 miles out into the
middle of nowhere.
Here in New Orleans. Which, another reason we chose to do this movie is because we just left New Orleans. Yeah. When we go to Disney World, we always stop in New Orleans. And this movie's set in New Orleans. There's, you get that Creole NOLA vibe in the movie.
Yes, yeah, and it just filters all the way over into Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, the boy gets scared by kind of maybe a gust of wind, but maybe a ghost.
Well, it has a face.
Yeah,
I've
does have a face.
The wind have a face. So I'm going to go with ghost.
The wind had a face, and it scared the kid. And so he ran off and he left his paper route, basically, or, his leftover papers from his paper route. And these little advertisement flyers fall out, and
or Evers and Evers.
We see a
real
flyer.
Estate. And you see Eddie Murphy's little mug on that flyer, and you see his beautiful wife's face.
Marcia Thomason is who plays his beautiful wife, Sarah.
Never seen her in anything before or since,
but nonetheless, that is her.
She's beautiful.
And the picture that we see of Jim Evers on the flyer, the camera kind of goes,
zooms into it, and
then he reappears.
Yeah, the picture kind of comes to life, and you're in another scene.
And Jim Evers is selling a house, or trying to sell a house, at least. He wants to sell a house to a couple who can't quite make up their mind.
They're quarreling about everything, and he's like, I just know what I want, babe. And she's like, do you want a divorce?
Yeah,
and that's Rachel. What's her last name? She used to be on The Daily Show.
Harris. Rachel
Harris. Yeah, she's a funny comedian that you've seen in all kinds of things. A good character actress.
She pops up in some of these movies, and you're just like, oh, she's a funny actress.
She's a funny lady that's always in like
her.
2 minutes of every movie.
And she's in The Hangover. She plays one of the wives in The Hangover, or the one that the dental guy wants to get married to. Anyways, so yeah, maybe you remember her from that if you've seen the movie Hangover. And so there's this couple who can't quite make up their mind about wanting to sell a home, but he gets a call. Jim Evers gets a call from his wife, Sarah.
She's like, hey, babe, it's our anniversary, as you remember. We have dinner at 7. Don't be late.
Yeah, and he kind of manipulates that call so that the couple who is arguing over the house thinks that he's talking to somebody.
Making a negotiation over the house.
Yeah, who wants
It's such high comedy.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And his wife is in on it, so she's like, oh, you're trying to sell a house. And he's like, oh, okay, all right, you want to come by at 7 o'clock and see the place, okay. And so he ends up selling the house. The couple's like, oh, no, we don't want to miss out.
And he has this cheesy tagline where he's like, Evers and Evers, where we want you to be happy in your home for Evers and Evers. Can I do my Eddie Murphy impersonation?
No, I don't think you should.
It's probably just as terrible as all my other impersonations.
I mean...
that's part of Evers and Evers.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm terrible at impersonations, but there you go.
It's great. I think...
Sign me up for Saturday Night Live.
He's on his way.
That's how it works, right? You just sign up for it.
Sign up. Sign me up.
Sign me up.
But, okay, so Jim so he sells this house and he goes to a tiki restaurant to make the sale of the home on the other end, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of him, like, schmoozing and having to meet couples and like, no, we want to buy you drinks.
What I gather from it is he's a workaholic who would rather be anywhere but at home with his wife and kids.
Mm-hmm. He's money motivated. He's not family motivated. He's money motivated.
Money,
but maybe his family money motivates him.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Maybe.
But
we'll give him that.
So he's supposed to be going to his anniversary dinner, and he doesn't make it.
He didn't make it to that 7 o'clock reservation that his wife said, don't be late for.
No, in fact, he shows up back at home at the door, because I guess he doesn't have keys to his house, his wife opens.
Or do you think she was so pissed she already changed the lock?
She might have. Or she was just standing at the door just waiting, so that when he walked up, she'd open it and be like, fuck off, fucker, you bitch!
But, he's standing there with a teddy bear.
Because it's a Disney movie, so that's what she would say, is fuck off, bitch.
Fuck off, bitch. But, he shows up with a teddy bear, which every grown-ass woman wants a teddy bear. That's like how you win their heart, right? That's how you tell them, I'm sorry, you're like, here's a teddy bear.
Yeah, especially when you've just missed out on your wedding anniversary and you have children together. I want a teddy bear. That's what I want.
Granted, the teddy bear does have an expensive, according to the movie, expensive watch or bracelet on it.
Yes, because that's also what you want, is to be bought after you've been just abandoned for your anniversary dinner.
She's like, you're a dick.
Yep.
I'll take the watch, though.
Because it is pretty.
Get your ass in this house. Let's go make love. It's our anniversary.
Okay, they don't do that. It's a Disney movie. So he comes in and asks for her forgiveness, and she's like, okay, well, you just can't keep doing this. You miss out on everything. And what about our beautiful children? And cut to their beautiful children upstairs.
Oh, and they're going to lay down some, I guess you could call it foreshadowing. Basically he's telling the story. The spiders.
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
Tell them about the spiders.
Oh, you want me to tell them about this? You don't want to tell them about the spiders?
Well, we get little boy running out of his room going, Daddy, Daddy, spiders!
Yeah. Eddie Murphy got to run upstairs to save his son from the spiders. So there's
this whole scene about becoming a man by rolling up a magazine and killing spiders.
Yeah, because that's what you do. You go get yourself, some men take their sons out to go hunting to be a man. Other men kill a spider. Man up.
That's right.
Those are just the only 2 ways that you can man up. That's it. Guys, sorry.
Man up.
There's no way to man up than to kill something. According to this Disney movie.
I was like, I think you're wrong.
No. I don't agree with that, but yes, nonetheless, that's what we're getting here. Man up, kill the spider.
Kill it.
But Michael has arachnophobia, which is like a legit thing, and Eddie Murphy is not validating him, and he is like kind of just making it seem like you're just a pussy, son. So if you'll kill this spider, you won't be a pussy anymore.
In life, you're gonna have to kill your own spiders, son.
That's right. Well,
but now we meet daughter because she comes in and she's had enough.
That is her introduction, right there.
She's had enough. She comes in and kills that spider for
grabs the magazine, splat on the window, spider dead. Brother degraded again in front of everyone. Everybody let it be known that sister's the best.
And then they parade him down the street with a bell saying, "Shame!
Shame!
Shame!
He is a dishonorable for our family! Shame!
He has brought dishonor!"
And then he goes out to a suicide forest. That's this Disney movie.
It's really dark. I have to give it to Disney for that.
Yeah,
no, but we have set up now that
these kids have some sass.
Little boy is sassy and afraid of spiders.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jim and Sarah are in a damaged relationship where they don't trust each other and they have commitments that they can't make.
Their problem is they just seem hella boring.
And like they need to maybe just get like a Kama Sutra and just get they bang on, but instead none of that happens. They decide that okay.
He's like, okay, babe, I'm gonna make it up to you. Let's go to the lake for the weekend.
Yeah, let's take this boring family of ours and have a boring time at the lake,
boring lake,
at Lake Pontchartrain.
And let's just go be boring
and keep being boring. But Sarah gets a phone call while Eddie Murphy's up there trying to get his son to like man up. She gets a phone call on their landline from a weird-talking British man.
Is this Evers and Evers?
Yes. Well, I'm trying to find Sarah Evers. Please come to our manor. We want to sell it, but just you. Don't bring anybody else. It's not a date rape thing at all. No, just come by yourself. And so Sarah Evers is on the phone with this British man, raspy man, when Jim comes down, and he's of course like, what, are we about to make money? Like, how can we, I'm a workaholic.
She's like, no, but we're going to the lake. He's like, oh, we can make a quick stop there. It'll be nothing.
Yeah, it's
money.
It ain't no thing. So he's like, yeah, we'll just make a pit stop on our way out to the lake to this mysterious manor. And they show up at the mysterious manor.
They show up after they did some pit stopping.
And they're immediately trying to decide on how are they going to sell this house.
And they're looking around, they're like, oh, this is a big old house.
It's a big old house. They're not even inside yet.
I've never seen anything quite like it. There's a graveyard in the back.
Look at all these dead people in the backyard.
Yeah. Look at the many, many graves. Wonder why this family has so many dead relatives.
It's a lot of graves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many dead people are allowed in your backyard?
It's like basically Arlington National Cemetery back there. JK.
It's not, but I mean, there's a lot of tombstones and mausoleums and crypts and stuff in the backyard.
It's so spooky.
And so they're all like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna sell this place? And can someone answer the damn door? And then it starts to rain. And rain.
I can't stand the rain. It's my window.
And then the door gets answered by
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott. No, it gets answered by Terrence Stamp.
He's playing like a butler.
Ramsley.
I wonder what he's ramming.
Oh. Damn, Ram, what you ramming?
Well, I meant, is he a ram farmer?
I don't think that's what you meant.
No.
So Ramsley answers the door and he's like, well, hello, welcome to Gracie Manor. Do you want a beer?
I didn't put anything in it.
So, and then we meet Edward Gracie. And he's the owner of the manor home. And
your average, handsome, bland,
tall, dark, and boring-looking man. Like, it's a lot of boring
people
in this movie.
But then there's a few good ones, like Wally Shawn,
yeah,
Terrence Stamp. Okay, not everybody's
boring, and we'll get there. And so they're making...
Here's the deal. Not everybody's boring, but everybody's boring.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the movie.
Like, they're not
No.
boring, but it's
Boring.
boring.
Anyways. You guys
Okay,
are-
there's introductions being made at the door, and they come in, and Ramsley is like, you all came. And she's like, yeah, we all came because we were going to go on vacation afterwards.
Yeah.
And
Vacay.
and so they decide that it's raining way too much, and Ramsley somehow knows that like this bridge has flooded over and that they need to stay.
Yeah, and everyone's pissed anyways, because when they first get there, Dad's like, we'll be here 20 minutes. But then Ramsley's like, oh, come to the dining room. We've set up for you. And they're like, what? They're like, you're staying for dinner. And Mom's like, no, we have plans.
When
What
did
about-
we get to the
what about our-
vacation home?
Our plans.
We had plans.
Our plans.
I thought we were gonna like do the plans that we
I
had.
thought we were going to do our boring plans.
And now we're gonna have to have boring dinner here at this boring manor home.
And then during the boring dinner and after, they get stuck. They're stuck.
It's just rained way too much.
Like in the hour they've been there, they got flooded out.
And now they'll have to stay in the creepy manor home. And so Ramsley shows the kids and Eddie Murphy
To the room.
and Sarah, or Jim. Sorry, I'm not gonna do this.
Evas and Eva.
I'm going to call all of the characters their actual fucking character names and not the actor and character. It's confusing, guys. I'm sorry. I know it. I'm sorry. So now Jim and Sarah and the kids are being shown to their room.
So Eddie Murphy, I'm just
You're a bitch. Okay, so they all basically get divided up. And Jim and Sarah start fighting because they have a
Oh,
tumultuous relationship.
They're boring but tumultuous. That's a deadly combo. But they are
It's like,
in the
you're
room.
boring and I hate
And
you,
she's like,
but I am boring.
You don't really love your family. You work too hard. We have nice things. We have a wonderful life.
I'm ungrateful.
You brought me a teddy bear with a Rolex.
And I'm ungrateful.
She's like, oh, yeah, he does say something. She like, oh, you're fine with me working as long as I'm bringing you expensive gifts. And
Yeah.
she's like, oh, you talking about that teddy bear and this watch? Take it back, Dick. Take it back.
And then she, after she takes her watch off, then she
storms off.
takes her breasts out because he bought those too.
She's like, yeah, it gets really like, you're like, whoa, Disney. She gets a knife out. She like rips through her titties. There's blood going everywhere.
Everywhere.
Silicone oozing out.
It's
But then
coming
she
out.
takes the knife and she like, almost like skewers them.
Yeah,
And
and
then
she
she's
hands
like,
it over
hands
to
it to him and makes him eat them.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I'm really not thankful for those either.
And she's like, take it all back, Dick. Then she storms off.
Then she storms off. Not after she takes the watch off.
You guys,
It's
guess what? None of that really happened. I bet we got you. We got you.
We tricked you. No, okay, so she's mad because basically he just called her a prostitute.
Okay, so what she does is she just takes the watch off.
Yeah,
We just added a little bit.
yeah.
And then she storms off and slams the bathroom door, and he's like, baby, I'm sorry, I love you.
I'm so sorry about that. And then he's like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do.
I
Knock,
guess
knock,
I'll
knock on
walk-
the door.
Oh, yeah.
And Ramsley's like, hey, Mr. Gracie would like to meet you in the library to discuss the selling of the house. And he's like, oh, okay. Oh, all
Time for
right.
your evening handy dandy.
And I'll take you in there and oil up your asshole. Sorry, guys. It's the fact that this movie is like rated PG that we feel the need for it to be super raunchy when it's
yeah.
not. So, anyways,
And we're not haters. We're not. We're just having fun.
we're just having fun. And Eddie Murphy, or Jim Evers, is headed into
He's
the library
trying.
for his nightly BDSM workout session. And Ramsley leaves him in the library and is like, just hang out here. Mr. Gracie will be here in just a second.
But Mr. Ramsey,
Yeah, Mr.
Ramsey leaves, and
Eddie Murphy just starts fidgeting.
yeah, he's like waiting. 'cause
With-
the other guy's taking a sweet ass time.
Yeah, like he's like in the library
Mr.
for like 19
Gracie.
hours.
for 19 hours. Yeah, you have to sit there for 19 hours just watching him.
Fiddle with books and shit. And he sees this like statue on Mr. Gracie's desk.
And he starts playing with it.
And he starts pulling his penis. Because it's a naked statue.
We're being ridiculous.
No, the head flops back and forth.
Oh.
So Eddie
like
Murphy
his penis. It's like there's a bust of a man on the desk and he plays with it a little bit. And it opens up a trap door.
Yes. Like it's a hidden passageway is what it opens up.
You know what? I fucking love a good hidden passageway.
Okay, guys, I just want to go to a manor house that actually has a hidden passageway.
You know what? I've probably told you this story, but I'm going to tell everybody else this story. Growing up, I have an uncle who lives in this old house built in the late 1800s. And it's like half underground, half above ground. But in one room, you go in, you open the closet door, you can, it looks like a normal closet, but if you look down behind, you can go in it and you can walk down like almost this little hall and you're all of a sudden like, oh, there's more clothes. And it goes to another closet. You can open that closet and be out in another room. So as a kid, we fucking loved it. We're like, oh, my uncle has secret passageways. And when we were there, we'd always play in them and run around upstairs in the secret passageway.
In his old Victorian lifestyle that he had when he was a boy.
When I was a wee lad in 1875, we played in the manor.
He was an old bitch.
I know.
Okay, well, so Eddie Murphy decides to fiddle around in the hidden passageway. No, he just can't get back in. But he's locked in the hidden passageway
He's like,
now,
hello.
so he's got to try to find another way
Oh
out.
shit, I guess I'll look around. And all of a sudden, is this where the instruments chase him?
No, not yet. So at the same time that he's in the passageway, his kids...
See an orb.
Mm-hmm.
This is when the movie actually starts getting kind of
Yes, picking up. And so this shiny, floating blue orb takes them around the manor, and they're following
At
it.
first they're a little freaked out by it, but then they sense that it's not menacing, and that they should follow it.
See where it takes them.
Yeah,
and so we are left with them kind of adventuring around the house, and the next scene is Ramsley intercepting Sarah. She comes out of her room to try to find her husband.
She's like, I want that watch back!
And my titties! I need those too, please. I'm bleeding out all over the damn carpet.
Jim, I want my titties and my watch.
My titties and my watch. Actually, please, in that order. Titties first, then watch. And Ramsley's standing there, and he's like, hey, your husband is in the library. Let me take you there. And she enters into the library, and there is someone in there, but it's not Jim Evers.
It's Mr. Gracie.
It's Mr. Gracie.
He's like, sit down, darling. Let's have a wonderful candlelit dinner, and let me tell you about how I really know you, and you really know me.
At first, he is telling her the story of the manor, and he is hiding the real story. He's like saying that it's his grandfather who had a sordid past here in the house, and that he fell in love with a woman named Elizabeth. But he's not telling the real story, which is, let's now reveal it to them.
Oh my god.
That Sarah Evers
He believes Sarah Evers is like the reincarnation of Elizabeth.
Because she looks just like her.
It looks just like her.
Yeah.
And he had really proclaimed his love. Someone did some kind of like Romeo and Juliet shit. There were letters intercepted. There were letters that came too late. People committing suicide. People getting murdered. Ugh. It's very Lifetime.
And so Sarah Evers is like, oh, I'm so sorry about this sad, Elizabeth and the house. And now I see it has so much sad meaning to you. And he's like, yeah, that's it. Keep following me around. Let me take you to the ballroom.
Let me show you the roofie room.
And the kids at this point, the roofie room?
Let me show you the roofie room.
Let me show you the roofie room. So that's where we get left. It's kind of like changing in and out. We keep following these characters in and out of rooms. They'll go into one room and then...
But you know what? I don't think they ever see the roofie room.
They don't see the roofie room?
They don't ever go to the roofie room.
Oh, why not?
The orb, I think, just doesn't take them there.
Oh, the kids don't make it to the roofie room?
The orb's like, not appropriate.
Nope. No kids in here. Yeah, well, we are going to find the kids. The next scene is the kids are still following the orb, and they found it in the attic. In the attic, there is a picture, a portrait, and it is of their mother. But wait, it's not their mother. It's a woman, because she's in a Victorian gown. It's Elizabeth!
It's Elizabeth.
And so the kids are just like, what? There's this like lady that looks exactly like our mom in this portrait. What's going on? Who can help us find this out?
Is it Elizabeth? Does she go by Lizzie, Beth, Elizabeth? That's what I really want to know. What should I really call her? Eliza.
Bethy? Lisbeth? Okay, anyway, so the kids are like, what's going on? And they run into servants, Ezra and Emma. And the fun thing about the servants is that it's Wally Shawn who plays the
Wally
servant.
Shawn, and there's a fun actress that plays the other servant.
Yes, I didn't write her name down though.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
Oh.
So I don't know her name.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I was just looking for it too. Okay, I'm sorry, but anyways, so Ezra and Emma are these fun ghosts. And they, but the kids don't know that they're ghosts yet, but they are the servants in the house.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we can kind of provide some backstory to all of what's going on.
Let's tell you everything you need to know to keep up.
And while they're telling them what's going on, because they're also hiding it, nobody is telling anybody yet that they're actually super fucking old and dead ghosts.
Yeah.
They're kind of keeping this story about that they're just like the generation next or whatever from them. And
like, don't we look good?
Yeah, we look really great.
We don't look like ghosts.
Not at all.
We
So
look very contemporary. We look like we're in the latest fashions.
even though we still look like we're in our 1880s garb, the kids haven't picked up on that at all.
My makeup doesn't make me look like I'm dead.
Oh, and in the attic we see that bride's gown that is a part of the
Haunted Mansion
ride.
Where she's standing there with the axe. There's no axe, but even how it's set up looks exactly like the ride. With the veil kind of on the top of the dummy that's set.
And we get the idea that that was supposed to be Elizabeth's dress. Maybe that was supposed to be her wedding dress that she was going to wear when she and Edward got married. But it never happened because she died.
Poor Liza.
And, Edward thinks that she committed suicide. Not that she was poisoned. He doesn't think anybody, or that anyone has murdered her.
Yeah, no one thought Liz was really... They all thought she killed herself, right?
Liz. Are we calling her that?
Or Beth. I'm just going to call her all the names.
Okay.
I just called her Liza a minute ago.
Okay, and so now you're going with Liz and then Beth. Yeah, I love all of it.
I'll just keep changing it up because I'm not sure.
We don't know. So
I don't know what she prefers to be called.
Emma and Ezra, the servants, are trying to tell the kids, Michael and Megan, what have happened, but they get interrupted. Ramsley shows up, so the kids hide, and
so
Ramsley's like,
rude. Always getting
"Where
interrupted.
have you guys been? I can't find you, you bitches!" And in the Disney movie, is saying bitches.
So the kids are hiding, right?
Yeah, and
the servant's like, "Oh, we're right here, nothing. We're not doing anything.
No, nothing's up." And he's like, "Well, we've got to, keep up our story and everything." And
the kids are hearing this like, "Oh, something is up.
What's going on?
Something is up."
And Ramsley leaves, and the kids appear again. And Emma and Ezra are like, "I guess we'll tell you the real shit, won't we?
Like,
we'll just tell you that we're dead and that's your mom and all this shit." And at the same time, Eddie Murphy is going down that hallway portrait that's also like the Haunted Mansion ride.
Yeah, and you see the breathing door that's in the ride. This kind of spooky stuff is the funnest of the movie. You get that fun kind of Halloween horror ride vibe. It's a lot of fun.
And just like in the horror or in the Haunted Mansion ride, we hear Madame Leota before we see her. Like when you're in your little doom buggy,
you're coming down and you hear that voice.
You can hear a woman who seems to be like maybe saying something prophetic or just doom me or whatever. Yeah. And then you see her and she is a floating head in a ball. Well, they do kind of the same thing in the movie. Eddie Murphy can hear, Jim Evers can hear a woman a disembodied voice, and
Like,
so
hello?
it leads him down to a
He's
hallway.
like, hello, I'm lost.
Can anyone tell me where I am?
She keeps on
She's talking, and at first, like, in the hallway, he sees, like, himself in a mirror, but he's all decayed, and it, like, freaks him out, and...
Should it really freak him out, though? Would
Because
you be freaked
eventually
out?
you're going to be decaying. That's true. It's like he was just getting to see his future in the
I
mirror.
mean, it's so rude to people who are decaying that he would look at himself and, like, scream when he's decaying.
Yeah, like, Jim Evers, do you have a heart for dead people that are decaying?
So rude.
Asshole. But finally, he gets himself into this, like, room, and he sees the floating crystal ball, and he sees Jennifer Tilly's head in it.
With Jennifer Tilly. Corky. Hey, Corky.
Hey there, Jim Evers.
Justine does a really good impression of Jennifer Tilly from Bound. too.
Yeah. No, they don't.
You gotta do it.
Okay. Hi, Corky. Hello, Corky.
Hey, Corky.
Corky. Oh my gosh, my throat kind of hurts, so I can't really do it all that well. Thanks for going me out when
I love your Corky.
Oh,
Your
thanks,
Jennifer
Corky.
Tilly impersonation.
But Jennifer Tilly impersonation is spot on all the time, asses. Yeah, so Jennifer Tilly is playing Madame Leota.
Not Corky.
Not Corky, because we're not covering the movie
Yeah.
Bound.
Well, she
We're-
doesn't play Corky in Bound either. but
No, but we're
just making that clear.
Yeah, we're
There's
not.
no Corky in the Haunted Mansion.
No.
Maybe there should be some Corky in the Haunted Mansion.
And then would have made it a little bit more funner,
Yeah.
but
We need some, like, badass lesbians in the Haunted Mansion.
do you think that's what
That's
was
what
missing from
that
this
is what is
entire
missing from this
movie?
movie.
Jennifer
We
Tilly
needed-
should have just brought
We
that.
need Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly in this movie.
Yeah, because Gina
Together.
Gershon actually does play Corky.
Hi, Corky.
Anyways, why are we doing this? Guys, also, we've been driving. Okay, so it was 12 hours yesterday that we drove, and it's going to be like another 12 hours. We're
I
like
think we're on 4 hours.
4
right now.
hours of today, so a total of like 16 hours driving. We're delirious.
We're
Okay.
getting to Disney. We're getting it done.
All right, Jennifer Tilly / Madame Leota. So Jim Evers finds himself in a room with the floating crystal ball that has Madame Leota in it, who is a character from
You know
the
what?
Haunted Mansion ride.
It's a ball with a head.
It's got head balls. But Madame Leota is speaking to him, and she's like, in order for you to fix the limbo that is this house, you must find a key in the mausoleum.
And he's like, what? That's all I gotta do is find this key? And she's like, the key will answer everything, Corky.
Everything, Corky, will be found in the mausoleum. And then his kids show up.
Guys, she can do Tangina. She can
I
do
can do
Jennifer
Jennifer
Tilly.
Tilly. I can do fucking everybody's voice, guys. Send in your requests.
She can do everything, everything, everything.
Everything through Jennifer Tilly. Okay, alright. So basically, Madame Leota's like, in order for you to solve the mystery of the house and
Find the
Elizabeth,
key.
you have to find the key.
So he's like,
And
well,
his
I'm off.
kids show up
He's
with
like, hey.
Emma and Ezra.
Did we talk about the instruments chasing him down the
No,
hallway?
we're-
That was before.
Well,
You saw
let's
the
talk
head.
about it now.
Oh
so,
my gosh, it's so cute. These instruments, and they're like the instruments you would see like at a jazz club. You have your saxophone, right? Or it's like
Yeah.
steel drums, you know, a
You're
trombone.
right, it's like all the jazz kind of music. Yeah. Because
Start
they're playing
chase-
jazz
yeah.
music.
Well, they come, you know, it's the Haunted Mansion, so
Yeah.
naturally he gets chased by instruments. And that's kind of, it's a fun little scene. He gets chased down a few little corridors. They're running after him. I don't know what these instruments would do to him if they caught him.
Maybe they would spank his ass and like blow horns up his ass. It's
They
all
would-
ass play,
That's why
obviously.
he's worried about
Ass play.
the jazz band ass play. I never worry about jazz band ass
Jazz
play.
band ass play. Yeah, that's how he gets into the room with Madame Leota
Is
is
the
all
jazz
those
band
instruments.
ass play.
Like
He's scared of jazz band ass play.
ass play brings him into the room, and then Madame Leota also like spins him around in the room, like makes the
and
room
things
rotate.
Get crazy.
And
I would barf. Yeah, when she's talking to him, like she gets out of control. She's like, "I want your attention." They're flying around the room, like just going in
she
circles.
gets his attention.
She gets his attention. That's
Yep.
right.
And but yeah, eventually though we do have to say the kids show up with Ezra and Emma, who they reveal that they're ghosts, And Emma and Ezra are like, well, we'll show you around. We'll take you out to the cemetery.
Yeah, you have the key. We'll show you where to go.
And Jim Evers is like, well, how? How are we going to get out? And they use another line from the ride. Ezra says, well, we can always go my way.
Oh, yeah.
And they get into a horse-drawn carriage, which is another part of the Haunted Mansion ride.
And it goes through the wall, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
This horse-drawn carriage, the horses are dead ghosts and stuff too. They take the Evers family, minus Sarah, boom, out the wall and into the cemetery. And we get this like 2.5 minute sequence of the Evers family meeting all the ghosts that are in the cemetery.
There's a lot of ghosts.
And that's also a part of the Haunted Mansion ride. You get to go through a cemetery in your little doom buggy and meet all the ghosts.
All the grim, grinning ghosts.
All the grim, grinning ghosts.
Come out to social.
You have like the hitchhikers that are there.
I love the hitchhikers. They're kind of usually my favorite.
And
I love the busts.
yes, the busts,
They're
the
funny.
Dapper Dans.
The Dapper Dans.
There's
they sing, right?
yeah, it's a
they're
barbershop quartet that is on Main Street in Magic Kingdom. They're called the Dapper Dans, and they did the soundtrack for the movie, and so they are actually the busts, that are there. So there's these 4 busts that the Jim and the kids find in the cemetery, and they're like, hey, can you help us find this mausoleum? And the busts don't really help much. They're just singing.
Yeah.
But they provide some comedy and a taste of Disney.
This is all like the fun part of the movie, and they get down to the cemetery, right? And the key's in the water, right? Or they drop it.
They find the key in a crypt in the mausoleum, and it's in the hands of a dead, like a skeleton.
Yeah, so they have to like break through the old crusty hand to get the key. It's
nasty. And so they leave Michael outside of the mausoleum, and Megan and Jim go down into the crypt.
Yeah, they walk down, and it's like vast too. They go down, and it's like a whole other little world down there.
It's like a staircase that just
underground world,
a spiraling staircase, and they get the key, and they think, okay, we're good. We've got the key. Let's go back up.
No. There are some zombie skeletons down there to protect that key.
I guess that key activated the zombies to wake up.
They're like, oh, someone has the key. Time to get up, guys. It's been a few hundred years, but...
And it's a really fun, scary sequence of the movie.
It's a really good sequence. The makeup effects done by Rick Baker, kind of the highlight of the movie.
Of it.
They look great. They're creepy for a PG Disney movie. They look like walking
skeletons.
And I guess at one point, Rick Baker had presented kind of like friendlier, more movie friendly kind of zombies, more Disney-fied zombies, but lo and behold, the Disney execs and Rob Minkoff were like, no, make them scary.
Make them like really scary.
We want scary zombies.
They're very decomposed skeletal beings that are walking around. They were caught in some of the extras on the DVD that we watched. They call them zombie skeletons. So they like them to be like this, and they're gonna eat them, the kids. Oh my goodness, they're gonna eat them up. It's scary. And they chase them all the way up the staircase. And there is like a suspenseful moment where the key gets dropped down in the water.
The little girl has to jump in. She's diving for it. Finally gets it. There's zombies in the water coming after her. They're also around where she's trying to crawl out. A hand comes down and grabs her. Oh, but don't worry. That hand belongs to Jim Evers.
Her daddy.
Her
and
daddy.
I mean really her daddy, not her daddy. Not that, like an actual father. Jim Evers is her father. Daddy.
I'm still practicing.
And so they're running up the spiraling staircase, and the zombies are running after them. And on the outside of the mausoleum door, Michael is standing there.
He's waiting for them. He doesn't really know what's up. He starts hearing their screams and their cries.
But he's also hearing something else creeping up everywhere.
The door shuts to the mausoleum, and it bolts shut as well. And all of a sudden, just like, I would say hundreds of these big, like tarantula-sized spiders come crawling all over the tomb. But what happened? The screenwriter set up earlier that little boy is afraid of spiders. So is he going to help and get that door open?
Oh, he might just be a tad scared.
He's going to be zero help.
And And so there's
Until we get the moment where he has to overcome his fear. And he becomes that man Justine
he does.
talked about.
He pulls out his penis. I mean, he pulls out his newspaper that he had in his pocket. No, he just opens the damn door and lets his dad and sister out, and they don't get eaten by the zombie skeletons.
Or by spiders.
And they return, Ezra and Emma and the kids and Jim go back to the attic, or go back to Madame Leota's room. And they're like, hey, we got the key. And she's like, okay, now you need to go to the attic and open up the trunk.
And Eddie Murphy, Jim, is like, no. You said get the key, and the key will solve everything. I guess it didn't. Why did you say that? He's not happy about it.
Nope, he's just acting like Eddie Murphy.
And
Talking and talking and talking.
Jennifer Tilly's like, Kiki.
And then Jennifer Tilly says, Madame Leota says, open it up, the trunk, and then you will have all the answers. They'll be inside. And she rolls herself into the attic. And
she becomes like this funny character that starts going places without a body or hands or
no,
feet.
she just rolls her ball everywhere.
She's rolling along.
And they all get up to the attic, which we've seen already because the kids were up there earlier. That's where they found the portrait of their mom. And they find the trunk, open it up with a key, and inside
is the letter.
It's a letter that Elizabeth
had written, yes, for Gracie. That was intercepted and never given to Mr. Gracie. Hence why he was so heartbroken and tried to kill himself.
He totally killed himself.
Did kill himself.
Hung himself. Yeah, so we do find out that she meant to marry him. Jim Evers reads the letter, and at the same time, Ramsley appears out of nowhere. He just appears, and he's like, he confesses to killing her.
Hey guys,
I killed her because she wouldn't be, good for Ed's life, his heritage. Guys, it's because she is a different skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
And so he ends up killing her, and he's like, now you guys are never going to tell Edward Gracie, and he throws the kids in the trunk that they just had.
Yeah, with his magic, he pushes them down into this trunk, or he gets this trunk to come flying at them, and it knocks them into the trunk.
Yep, and Jim's like, what the hell?
He's like, let my kids out of there.
He's like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and he's like, no. Ramsey's like, no, I'm gonna kick your ass out of this house, and he throws him out of the house.
Before that, Eddie Murphy or Jim does try to punch him a few times, tries to knock him out, but he's a ghost, so he goes right through him.
Yeah.
Nothing happens, so he gets his ass kicked out. And now we have our scene with Edward Gracie in the ballroom with Sarah, and he's like, look at this. Does this bring back memories? And she's like, what memories? And then he kind of just she says,
loses it.
What memories? I was just in the roofie room.
You just took me out of the roofie room. I'm sorry.
I don't have any memories.
I took a roofie pill, and why are we making jokes about that? That's not funny.
It's not funny in real life, but it's hilarious in this movie, okay? Because it doesn't really happen in this movie.
Because it's a Disney movie, and they wouldn't put roofies.
There'd be no roof. It's outrageous.
It's outrageous and crazy. So he's like, do you remember? And she's like, no, I don't remember. And then he flips out on her and is like, you must remember that you were Elizabeth.
She's like, no, really, I'm Sarah. I don't know you.
And then he starts appearing and not appearing, apparating over and over again. And she freaks out because she didn't know anybody was dead in the house.
She doesn't like that either.
And she flees to her room and slams the door, and then he can't go in there. He he's been appearing and then not appearing in rooms, but yet she slams a door to her bedroom, and all of a sudden he has manners.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious too, because she's running away from him. He's chasing her throughout the house,
and just going through the room.
But then she finally shuts her bedroom door. He's like, okay, I guess I can't go in there.
I'm sorry,
Modesty.
It's not the roofie room, because I don't follow her into her room because it's 1880s and she wears a corset. So he's crying outside her room, and Ramsley appears and is like, don't worry, she will marry you.
Ramsley always has something to do with something, doesn't he?
He does always have something to do with something. If there was a definition that we could put for something to do with something, we could just put Ramsley's picture there. He is always up to something.
Fucking John Benet Ramsley.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
I don't know.
John Benet Ramsley. And again, like, that's not...
No.
That's sad and not should be a joke. We're not in the car with just ourselves anymore, Josh.
Like, little pageant girl murders are not funny.
Not at all. Okay, so Ramsley's just told Master Gracie, don't worry, like, she's gonna marry you. Because this whole time, guys, they were hoping that she would marry him. Like, she would be brought to the house and just feel compelled
It's like
to marry
Ramsley
him.
went from like, no, I'm gonna have to kill her because I don't want you to marry her, to, well, now I want you to marry her so this curse isn't fulfilled. Right?
Yeah,
And it's
it
like,
is kind of strange that, like, he does
I'm
bring
like,
her
oh,
back
okay,
now.
weird
Like,
logic.
oh, because he's like, he doesn't want him to be sad anymore or something. He's tired of his master being sad, and the whole house is in limbo, and he thinks
Yeah,
that
and
that's
like they have to have it done by, they gotta get out of limbo by this certain day, right?
I don't know if it's by a certain day. I think it's just like that. This is their opportunity to do it because here she is.
Yeah, okay.
But anyways, long story short, they need her to get married, and even Ezra and Emma need it. So at the end of the day, even though they wanted to be helpful, they have to end up falling in line and doing what Ramsley says because they too want to move on. They don't want to be a ghost anymore. And so Ramsley goes into Sarah's room and blackmails her and says, I'm gonna
kill your kids.
Yeah, if you want to keep...
I'm gonna kill your kids if you don't come
Your
marry
kids
me
alive.
right now. No, you're already married. This is not gonna be legal in the state of Florida, but you're gonna come marry me or I'm gonna kill your kids.
Or Louisiana, because that's where they are.
Oh yeah, they're in Louisiana.
We're
in Florida right now.
But the movie
They're
is
in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's not legal in Louisiana, but you're gonna come
got
marry
to
me.
marry my Master Gracie.
You at least have to go through with the ceremony I have prepared.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna kill your kids. How's that sound?
So...
Sound good? Alright, see you at 7.
Fuck off. Jim Evers is outside the house. He cannot get in. And this is a kind of fun...
Yeah, he has like this
situation.
shovel he finds, and he's banging the windows, and the windows will start to shatter, but then they fix themselves, and there's a really great sound effect that's like... I can't really even do it.
Which is the same sound.
Effect of like my asshole going back together.
Ass play through this entire Disney Haunted Mansion ass play movie. Yeah. So he finally, like, after like trying to get into the house, decide, like, he just kind of collapses on the ground. And who shows up to give him some motivation?
Oh, Koiki, Jennifer Tilly,
Madame Leota.
Madame Leota. She comes rolling up. She's like, "Don't give up yet."
Yeah. Long story short, don't give up yet.
Don't give up.
And
don't do it.
Jim's like, yeah, you're right. I do want to get my family and my wife, and I want to get the fuck out of here. And so he drives his car through the, like, observatory, like, greenhouse area of
like,
the big mansion.
Let's see you fix that with a sound effect.
Yeah, because I'll get into your house before you can regenerate, bitch. He tells that haunted mansion off. Or maybe it's just like a slight plot like hole that they leave open so that he can get in. Whatever. Magic!
It's magic.
So now there's a wedding going on.
And you know what? It's a beautiful ceremony. It's candlelit. It's all ornate.
Sarah is in Elizabeth's wedding gown.
I see lots of fine cutlery set out for the feast later.
For all of the guests that are there.
All the best linens.
All the best assholes. Yeah, so the wedding is kind of going on, and Jim Evers is finding his kids. He battles these, like, knights.
This is the same Jim Evers from Evers and Evers.
Yes.
Realty, if you were wondering.
Jim Evers, who wants you to live in your house for Evers and Evers. He has this battle scene with these knights that are also a part of the Haunted Mansion ride. We see the knights in armor in the Haunted Mansion ride. And so he gets to have a fun little fight sequence with them, and he does karate moves that we had
really
no
fun.
idea he knew.
It's fun seeing those, like, the knights in their armor that we
Mhm.
typically just see standing still as, just some old fancy person, rich person's
House, yeah.
fucking furniture come to life and fight a man.
Fight a man.
Damn it.
Get up and fight a man. You get up and you fight a man. Oh my God.
With your suit of armor.
But he rescues his kids, and while they're running down the hallway, we see more parts of the wedding, and Ramsley is the officiator of the wedding, and
He's gonna poison her.
he pours this like poison in the chalice that the two bride and groom will share. I guess to
Is it a Catholic wedding?
I don't
like,
think
what's
I
going
don't
on?
really. I guess he's like just trying to get her crunk roofie room to take her to the. He's roofing her.
He
Josh,
got it from the roofie room.
After all, there was a reason why we kept referencing roofies.
Yes.
It's because Ramsley is a roofie man.
Fuck him.
He's been tipping back poison in the women's vino.
He gives all men a bad name.
Yeah. Fuck. Ramsley?
Fucking asshole.
You are Satan incarnate.
Ugh.
But Jim,
I'm so over him.
just when Ramsley is doing the part of the wedding where it's like, does anyone here have anyone to say?
Oh, Eddie Murphy comes in and he's like, oh, I have some objections. Let me tell you. One,
Hell
she's
yeah.
my wife.
Yep.
Two, she's alive, not dead.
3, he killed your woman.
And they're like, oh, they just went to the roofie room. He just poisoned her. She's gonna die. Sorry.
But he does tell Gracie that Ramsley betrayed you and that this isn't Elizabeth. This is my wife, Sarah. Your lady is gone and dead, and it's Ramsley's fault. And then...
Here's the letter to prove it.
Yeah, here it is.
You want to read it? I can read it out loud in front of everybody, or would that be embarrassing to you?
And Gracie's like, oh my gosh, Ramsley, you've betrayed me. You've betrayed my asshole. You've betrayed this family. You've brought dishonor on your whole family. And then Michael's like, I know the feeling.
You don't mess with my family.
You don't mess with my family, ever, ever. Okay, so Ramsley is kind of like caught between a rock and a hard place. He needs something to happen because he wanted to move on with his ghost life. And so he just decides to become like some kind of like demon devil. His eyes
there is
go
a showdown now.
His eyes go fiery.
Yes.
And then the fireplace, like a big fired snake dragon.
It's almost like
demon,
a dragon with this long tongue that
Yeah.
comes out and like grabs him.
like wraps him up.
Evers,
the tongue.
Jim Evers.
Well, wraps Ramsley up, and when Ramsley is being dragged down to hell with this dragon, and he grabs Jim Evers.
That's right.
And Jim Evers is like,
Look,
what the
whoa.
hell?
It's like, don't take me with you.
And
I don't know him. I don't know that fire dragon.
somehow, by the grace of God, the dragon fire demon doesn't drag Jim down, and he's just like hanging there. But there's hell below him, and Edward Gracie comes to his aid and helps him back up.
Oh, Edward Gracie.
Yeah.
You've turned it all around.
Yeah, you did want to roofie people with Ramsley,
Now
but
you're
now
saving
you
their husbands.
want to save their husbands. You're a helpful man.
You're a stand-up guy.
And because of all the things that have happened, we have this ending sequence where that orb that the kids had been
Mhm, it
following
comes
around, it comes back,
He's back.
and it goes into Sarah's body because she's now collapsed and is
She's
dying
back.
because she was poisoned.
It's Elizabeth now.
And now Sarah Evers has been taken over by Elizabeth, and she's like, hello, or not Ramsley, because
Hello,
he's
Gracie.
hello, Gracie.
I've always loved you. Here, I'm gonna bend over, pull my skirt up right here. Let's finish what we started.
Years ago, when we were both English people.
Remember those babies
Why
and
do
the
they
life
have
we talked
English
about?
accents?
Because they're fucking pretentious.
Yeah, well, they do, even though it's in Louisiana. The Gracies and Elizabeth have an English accent.
I'm like, who do you think you are?
So, Elizabeth tells Gracie, all right, let's move on. And then all the ghosts go up to heaven, and we...
Yeah, and they do specifically say heaven, so... It's like, sorry, Jewish people or Buddhists.
Yeah, it's...
This movie's not for you.
It's not for
Just
you.
kidding.
It's, just
This is
heaven.
Judeo-Christian,
But
this
not
movie.
all dogs go to heaven. All ghosts go to heaven. Judeo-Christian. And Jim Evers awakes Sarah Evers, his wife, and she comes back to life, and they're like, let's get the hell out of here. Oh, and Gracie gives them the
she gives it to him.
Lease or whatever. Like, he's like, here, the house is yours. I give you the land and title to the house. You can have the man.
And he's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I just met you yesterday, but since
I
you're
saved
all,
you and you saved me, and we get a home together.
But since you tried to kill me and I was tortured by ghosts all night, yeah, I'll take your big ass multi-million bajillion dollar house
with all the dead people.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha, boo.
I'll take it.
Yeah, and that's how the story ends with the Evers family driving across Lake Pontchartrain. And in the back is Madame Leota with the kids.
Yeah.
And she's like, and we're all headed off
and you know
to
what?
a wonderful life.
She's a safe ball. She's buckled up.
She is. She's got her seatbelt on.
She's being precautious, taking precautions.
We can hear what sounds like a barbershop quartet in the back.
You're like, who could that be?
Who is that?
There's those Dapper Dans.
The Dapper Dans are in the back seat of the
little
van.
head busts.
And they are singing us off. They're singing the Evers family across the bridge, and they're singing us off into the end credits.
There is this end of this
and we get end credits
Disney movie
featuring Nelly. The song is like from Nelly, so it's totally 2003.
Very 2003. There we go. That like vanilla, it's very plain. Yeah.
And then just like on the Haunted Mansion ride, where we have this goodbye that happens when you're getting off the dune buggies, and they're like, "Would you care to get your death certificate?" Mm-hmm. We get that with Madame Leota. She appears and she tells everybody goodbye. If you were in the audience, goodbye.
We tried to get a real death certificate on the ride one time because we had heard a rumor that if you ask for a death certificate and act like you're dead, that they'll give you one.
And so we got into character.
And then we just felt fucking stupid because when we asked, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
But
Let me go ask somebody else. And they asked somebody else. They're like, oh yeah, we don't do that anymore. So we're like, yeah. So then we felt so stupid we had to like stay in character.
I had been practicing for weeks to be a dead person.
Oh my god, it was mortifying.
So we walk up and we're just like, can I get our death certificate? It was embarrassing and
I
all
don't
that.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're in Florida. We still have about 5-6 hours.
5 hours and 18 minutes. Florida, you are large and in charge.
Yeah, we're in the Panhandle right now. It takes a long time just to go across the Panhandle.
We haven't even changed time zones yet, and we've been in Florida for a while.
Yep.
All right, well, we're going to go to Disney World, and we'll report back to you when we're all done.
We'll
and
let you
tell
guys know all about it
we're going to make an Instagram story of us on the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, just keep watching.
Make a video. So
keep checking us out. Stay tuned. We'll be back in like 2 seconds for you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we're back.
Hello.
We just spent a week at Disney World.
Oh my gosh, it was a bittersweet moment leaving. We had so much fun.
It's always the worst having to leave.
But
try it sometime.
I knew we were coming back to you guys, so.
So hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Did you miss us? It's been like 0.0 seconds since.
Yes, we're on our second day of driving back from Disney World. We stayed in
New
Orleans, Louisiana, down on the Bayou last night.
And that's where we are now.
Yes.
Is in Louisiana.
We're in Louisiana.
Right now we've been playing the license plate game. Yeah. And
we're having a hard time with that.
Yeah, I would say we're like 1/3 of the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of states we're not marking off.
Yeah, kind of forgot all about how many there were. There's 50. Yes. And on this, it even has like the
provinces
of Canada. So, and we had just been to Canada when we were in Disney at the World Showcase in Epcot.
We went all the way around the world there.
All the way around the world.
Most importantly, we rode the Haunted Mansion, and we rode it 5 times.
Not just once or twice.
I know even 5, that doesn't sound like too much, but there's lines, people. These things take time to get on.
There's lines.
5
people.
times is a nice, solid commitment to a ride, I think.
Yes, and there were times that we spent maybe 15 minutes in the line, and then
Other
there were
times, like,
times where we
45.
spent, we did have a fast pass for one of the times that
So
we went
just got to
on.
walk on in.
So I was walking by acting all types of VIP, like, bye bitch, bye bitch, bye bitch, bye bitch.
My time to get on this ride, not
I
yours.
told a little girl, like, see you later. See you next Tuesday.
Justine did stick her tongue out at a little kid that was staring at her.
Yeah, I
just
did.
for fun.
Well, we were in the parking lot, kind of waiting to back out after we had visited Epcot, and there was a little girl in a stroller going by, and she just was staring me down, and I just wanted to make sure she was staring at me, or if she was staring at, something off by me, maybe. So I stuck my tongue out at her, and then
Washington, we found another license
Oh,
plate.
we're gonna have to mark it off.
We'll mark it off later.
Yep. Like I said, guys, we're doing our little license plate, and you're going to have to... I gave you a fair warning because it just might happen. You
We'll mark
might
it
have
off.
to listen to us pick out a plate. Well, let's get back to... Let's talk
Yes.
about the Haunted Mansion ride.
It's wonderful.
It's amazing!
It's like the best ride of life.
Anything we could do to be in you, girl. I don't know. I'm
we
almost
rode it 5
delirious.
times. We took in details. We found hidden Jack Skellingtons. We found some of the hidden Mickeys in the Haunted Mansion.
We were...
A hidden Mickey is hidden shape of Mickey's head, the ears and the face.
Yeah, it might be maybe a
The
table arrangement that has...
The silhouette of Mickey,
Yes.
essentially.
2 smaller circles and a big circle,
Mhm.
making his face.
That makes a Mickey.
And so we got to ride that ride. We also got to go into the gift shop a couple times because we just cannot help
It's
ourselves.
the best gift shop at Disney. It's called
Memento
Mori. And
They're all very...
They provide a service there that I've wanted to do
Oh, a
for
service.
the last few trips. This is our 4th best friend trip to Disney World. And
BFF trips.
they do spirit photographs or like death photos. And they're hilarious. And we finally did it. It's $20 a pop. You
$20. 1, 2.
A worker takes you behind a curtain and summons these spirits to take your photograph and to enter the camera, she says.
Yes.
So you do
She's
like a little mini
invoking them.
seance beforehand.
It's all fun. And it's just like the ride. The people are just embodying what the ride's all about.
Yes, they're in character.
Stay creepy.
The cast members. That's what they call workers at Disney, or cast members.
Yes.
Everybody's a cast member.
And it was there when we were getting our pictures that our cast member was so nice to tell us some of those hidden Mickeys. And they're also helpful, the cast members. They all just want you to have the best time possible.
They're just
at
trying to
Disney
make the
World.
magic magical.
And so she was nice enough to
You can put that on a
let us
billboard,
know.
Disney. Josh says they make the magic magical.
They make the magic magical.
Something's got to do with something.
And it's some cast members at Disney.
Yes.
So when we had those pictures taken and we knew, like, oh my gosh, we're going to be able to, there's even newer things inside this ride for us to look for. We always had something to look forward to.
Yeah, we know where to like stand, because even the line is a process. Like, you go into this room first and you hear Master Gracie talking, and then you go into a smaller room and he continues talking, and that's where the wall stretches.
Yep.
And you get to see there's portraits on the wall, and as the room is stretching, it reveals how each person died.
Yes.
And then Master Gracie says, well, would you like to join them? You can do what I did. And you get a flash and you see him hanging from a rope by the neck.
He committed suicide.
He's dead.
And there's like children
Watching
this.
I saw this as a child, as a church.
Every time I see the like Master Gracie hanging at the top, I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I was a kid, because I'd never seen it as a kid, it's like if I was, how would I feel?
I'm like, Mom, why is there a rope around his neck? Is he okay?
I'm sure there are some parents that are out there that are like, thanks Disney. Now I'm going to have to explain suicide to my young child.
Oh, well, they can get over it.
Get over it, people.
Yeah.
Disney, you can put that on a billboard too.
Yeah,
Get
the Haunted
over it.
Mansion. Get over it, people.
Get over it. And so the Haunted Mansion ride was first
At Disneyland.
At Disneyland. And
But not at the opening. I might have mentioned earlier, I thought it was opened when the park originally opened.
Yeah.
But to find out, it didn't open until 1969.
Yeah, it was a few, I think like 6 years into the park being opened. And that's just because it took time. Disney died during that time as well. And so they were trying to honor him while putting that ride in there, and also maybe putting in a few things that he himself wasn't all game for.
They're like, oh.
So, but yeah, he always wanted a ride like that. So Disney does it up.
Not many years separating the opening of the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland and the opening of Disney World and the Haunted Mansion that's
in
there.
Magic Kingdom, yeah.
The houses are different. There's some elements to the ride that are different. There's some things that are exactly the same. From what I remember, I think Madame Leota is in both of them. I think you get the bride, the murderous bride, the Black Widow up in the attic in both rides. Like, there's a bit similarities, but there's also its differences.
And the one in Magic Kingdom that we just went to, that opened in 71. So 69 at Disneyland and 71 at Magic Kingdom.
At
and
Disney
we've been
World.
riding that ride since 71.
And we rode it 5 times, and I gotta say, the ride is way more fun than the Eddie Murphy movie we've been covering.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I guess, should we
get to that?
Into that? We've talked about everything. We had lots of fun at Disney World, lots of food.
We do gotta mention, we did get stuck on the Haunted Mansion ride like twice.
Yes.
It stopped while we were on there. We tried to do some videos, but of course, all you can hear is my voice. They're like,
yeah,
black.
it's a dark attraction, so
yeah.
Lights out. Lights out, bitches.
Not great lighting for trying to make a video on
videos. Amazing lighting for you to get scared and all spooked in.
And that's the great thing about the ride. It's just a total spooky ride. It's like perfect if you're needing those Halloween vibes throughout the year. It just gives you all that like perfect, non-threatening.
It's all the spooky stuff from when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Graveyards, ghosts,
bats, and creepy crawlies,
crazy weird ladies that, I don't know, ladies growing up, or when you were a kid, there were just some ladies that you were like, are you a creepy witch at home? Madame Leota, there she is. She's fulfilling that.
Oh, she's fulfilling it?
She's fulfilling it. Yes, queen. Here we go. Okay, so...
back to the 2003 movie.
All right.
I mean,
I guess we're going to have to talk about...
complete trash, okay? But...
I guess we should talk about favorite scenes. And that'll get us really going for this movie.
All right, you start.
All right, I guess my favorite scene is going to be the graveyard when the kids are, when they're escaping out of there to go on the trek for the key.
That's the most exciting part, like the most action, the most kind of thrills.
CGI
Makeup
there,
effects are really good.
all the ghosts that are created, and it really just takes you back to the ride itself and getting to go through that graveyard and reminisce while you're watching that movie.
Like, oh, look at that graveyard. That's like the ride.
What would be your favorite scene?
Oh, goodness. Well, my favorite scene, I really like when he's getting chased by the instruments, and I like when he first encounters Madame Leota, and they're in the chairs that are floating and spinning in circles. To me, that's kind of like the most enjoyable, the most effervescent that the movie ever is, the most fun. Like, it's just having a good time in that moment, and that movie needs more of that moments. I mean, later on in the movie, like we talked later, there's stuff about like the mom dying. There's a lot. It gets bogged down in suicide, which I'm not opposed to, but when I'm watching like a movie like The Haunted Mansion Disney, I'm wanting a really fun gateway horror movie, like in the vein of like Hocus Pocus. That movie knew how to make a fun kid horror movie. This one is like, it's just too vanilla at times, and then really tries to be, I don't even want to say controversial, but maybe a little edgy with all the suicide stuff. I mean, they're trying to stay
It's grim and
it follows the ride.
Yes.
But you're getting like the mom dying at the end and coming back to life with a ghost in her, then dying again, and then him being like, "Honey, I love you, don't die." And there's just a lot of like, ugh, in the movie. A lot of Eddie Murphy's not as funny as he usually is. The wife, as pretty as she is kind of boring.
Yeah. Yeah, where she's like just kind of like playing this like nagging wife role in a way, and the kids are fillers.
The kids are fillers, and they're just like your typical sassy, we're just a little, wise beyond our years.
Yeah, it's like that poor wife had Sarah. She really had nothing funny, no funny lines. Nothing fun really happened to her necessarily.
Jennifer Tilly and Wally Shawn, the background players do their best, and they're the best part of the movie. And like you said, there's the good scene at the graveyard where you're getting spiders and zombies, and they're falling in the water. The daughter's got to get the key. Like there's actually a moment where there's something at stake.
Yes.
I just feel like there's not a lot at stake. And
steak.
It's
for dinner.
Yeah, I want to eat that shit medium rare, not like with Eddie Murphy and his family. Yeah, not overwrought.
No!
I've had moments. Anytime Jennifer Tilly's on, and like the scene that I picked is my favorite scene. Those are the moments when the movie gets to fly a little bit. It never soars. It gets its wings off the ground a few times and then plops right back into its nest. It never gets going.
I like your vanilla. It is. It's very vanilla, and we wanted Rocky Road. I wanted something. It had, it's got the ride to come off of. Like it's got so much to reference to. There could have been, a different story maybe, but we'll never know because that's the story of the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not mad about them using Master Gracie or the suicide. It's just the way they do it and the way it comes off as almost like in the middle of all like the fun horror, they're trying to add like this family drama.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really work.
A man who needs to make time for his family.
Yeah, it's like it takes his wife dying in front of him for him to realize it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, wah, wah.
There's even times where he's like telling his kids in the movie where Eddie Murphy's character is telling his kids like, well, I just wanted you to have the life that I didn't have, and his daughter's like, did you have a bad life? And he goes, no. And she's like, well, then why are you like having us have one? And it's true. Like Eddie Murphy, you're having us have a bad life experience watching this movie.
I mean, I also just don't have any nostalgia for this movie. It came out in 2003 when I was like in college.
Yeah.
So it's not one I grew up watching. I'm sure some of our viewers that grew up, or some of our viewers, listeners who grew up maybe watching it, have more admiration for it, and they get something a little extra that I don't get out of it. But I mean, I'm not opposed to watching it again around Halloween time or something if it's on like fucking Freeform.
For real.
Some shit.
Fucking Freeform. Oh my gosh.
Or but it's never going to be a favorite Halloween or just favorite movie.
But it did take us to our favorite place in the whole world.
Disney World. And we love the ride. We had an excuse to like ride the ride like 5 times to, keep going back to the gift shop or to do extra fun stuff. It's like,
get back on the ride.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ride again. We're doing a podcast. We have to ride it again. So it was a fun excuse to go to Disney World.
Oh yes.
And to share our fun with you. It was one of our best trips to Disney World too. We really lived it up. A decadent AF, I'll just say.
And rode a lot of rides. I was telling Josh earlier about how I thought this was our trip of rides. We just used all of our extra time to get on anything we could and just have a little experience.
Guys, I ate a churro ice cream sandwich. You can only do that at Disney World.
And
it's like one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life.
I ate Corona donuts.
They have it all. And the fun thing about Disney is you can make it spooky. There's a lot of fun, like lots of villains They do,
Yes.
and they pay attention to detail with it. Like, you do see a lot of villains in the park. You see them on the rides. They give you your spooky moments. You have things like the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, and they really build up, like, the Yeti, even at the Animal Kingdom and Everest.
It's all scary.
There's a lot of fun things for you to, like,
Get
into
spook
horror.
on.
Yeah. If you're searching for the horror at Disney, you can find it.
Oh, and they do have their not very scary Christmas or Halloween parties during the.
It's a really great way
September,
if you have a
October.
little one that you're trying to get into horror, do it through Disney. Disney
Yes.
is a great breeding ground for, like, a
Spooky,
horror
spooky.
fan. They love a good villain at
Oh,
Disney.
yeah.
So we saw lots of Ursula. Love her.
People just love the bad guys too. You know, we do. Just like we like Michael and
So knife.
Jason.
Let's not forget knife ratings.
Oh,
though.
we won't. We're not. How about you? Let's go ahead and do it right now. Knife rating. I'm going 2 knives.
Yeah, I'm going 2 knives. Probably the lowest. See, we try to have a positive show. We always try to pick up movies that we know we're generally going to enjoy talking about or watching. We hate being haters. We hate being downers. But with this movie, we just can't help it. It's a 2. It's not a complete waste. It has its moments. I just wish Eddie Murphy was funnier. I just wish it was a little bit more spooky. I wish it didn't get bogged down with all this mythology of the house and
having to make sure to like tell this other story.
I mean, they even start talking about souls going to heaven. Like, it gets very like Judeo-Christian at the end.
All of a sudden, we've got to bring heaven into it.
It gets very
just like spooky spirits.
Yeah. So 2
knives coming at ya, and yeah, definitely if you're headed to Disney World, give it a view, give it a watch. It'll get you all riled up and all ready for that ride.
It was fun to pick things from the movie. Be like, oh, that's cool. They did pull that from the movie. Or, oh, there's all the instruments that chase him later. There they are floating around with Madame Leota. So
there's the bride in all of the pictures with her, different husbands. She has like 5 husbands that she kills in the ride.
They're talking about Master Gracie and all that kind of stuff. That stuff's fun.
Very cool. Okay, guys. Well, we do have some time ahead of us, but
we have a great show coming next month. Where episode 36 is going to be Army of Darkness. And we're going to go down to Dallas and do one of those hilarious, like, medieval night.
Yes.
Like the dinner and a show.
Yeah, it's at medieval times.
Yeah, medieval times. I'm like, what's that called?
Yeah, and then we're going to have like a Knights of the Round Table. Fucking go to Camelot for a moment.
I think for obvious reasons, we're like, let's cover Army of Darkness.
Yes, so we're excited to do that. And
you're probably like, well, you guys haven't even covered Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2. So what?
Yeah, back off. Just
we'll get around to those. But right now, next episode, Army of Darkness, okay?
It's my order, not your order.
But hey, can you everybody do us a favor? Go to your favorite podcast format, whether that be iTunes or Stitcher or Apple
Google
Podcasts,
Play, whatever
Google
you're
Play.
doing.
Rate and review us. The more you do that, it helps us out, helps spread the word.
Yes,
helps
subscribe.
Catch people's eyes when they see, people have recommended this and liked it.
I saw
Maybe
this
wrote
picture.
a nice little note about how much they enjoy the show.
Maybe I want to listen to that podcast next.
Yeah, that would really help us out, guys. So
thank you.
Please consider doing that for us. We much appreciate it.
Yeah, hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah, check us out, screamqueenspodcast.com for extra pictures. I am going to do a little blog. We haven't done our blog in about a year. Sorry, guys. But
we're busy.
We're going to update it with some Disney pictures. If you want to see more from our trip, that will be up there. Check out our Instagram for some videos. We will put up pictures of our death photos on Instagram. So go scroll around, find those, find pictures from our trip.
Yes.
Enjoy. We're on Facebook. We're on all the places.
We're there. We're social, guys. We're social media people.
Get involved with us. We always love hearing from our listeners and our friends on Instagram. We've made lots of fun friends on Instagram and Facebook. So come join us.
Okay.
Episode 36 will be coming soon.
Yep. Thanks for listening, and can't wait to see you next month.
Bye.